everyone, and today we are going to be doing a Sans guide in Soulshatters. I know I'm not the first one to do this, but I'm bored and have no other content. So, starting off with the basics, the moves. So, bone number 1. It just summons a few bone projectiles, but it's extremely spammable and you can do stuff like this. Bone number 2. Not nearly as spammable, but it summons a lot more bone projectiles. As you see, not as spammable, but still does a fair bit. And as you see, my stamina depletes a lot more. Number 3, Bone Zone. So that just deals a ton of damage and is greatly used in another combo that we're going to get into soon. So, number 4, the final bone attack. Mega Blue Bones. Okay, now, number 1 Blaster. Not nearly as spammable, but still works. So this has a pretty long cooldown. Mega Blaster with number 2. And number 3, Cross. So that does a Quad Blaster. Number 4 is the classic Circle. But this isn't the full extent to it. It's just like a penta blaster kind of thing. But here's the well-known Sans final with number 5. So, that's it. And then, so, another great strategy for any attack, L with the cursor. So, when you do that, you have access to telekinesis number 1. You can hit space, W, A, and D. You can also hit S just to slam them to the ground. That isn't necessarily good for any combos. So A actually pushes you to the right if I'm not wrong, or pushes the target to the right, and D should do left. And W pushes them back, S slams them to the ground in space, throws them up. So, that's all the Sans moves as of right now. I'm aware of the revamp that's happening soon. So, easiest combo to start off with, probably just this. So, Blaster 2 and Blaster 1, vice versa. So, number 2, this is going to be our first telekinesis combo. So, throw them in the air, and then you do that and that. And you can also throw in a quad blaster there if you want. Another one, teleport to them. Okay, my mistake. So, you wanna teleport to them, get them against that wall, throw in that bone zone, boom. So, another telekinesis strategy. So when they're in midair, you can also do that. Fun fact. I'm just gonna forget about that one. So, next up. So the next strategy here, we're gonna wait for the telekinesis cooldown to finish. There we go. So, throw them in the air. 3, 2, 1, 4, 3. Now you're allowed to customize these however you want. And another good move to keep in mind is that you can do this. You can, if you don't know, when you're under half stamina, you're able to do multi-throw. So, watch this. So, just like the Sans kind of final throwdown before he sadly gets killed in the genocide run. Well, this is going to get demonetized, I forgot. So, basically, so that just straight up destroys them. That's like final resort, basically, if you're under half stamina. So, another combo you can do. Oh god. Okay, that's gonna go on forever. So another combo. Watch this. So, you don't need to put in as much spam, but you get the idea. So, there's actually a lot of cool combos that you can do with Sans. He's definitely the most open character for combos. So next up, you can do something like this, and if it's timed nicely, you can get them in that kind of loop. So, that's a pretty good strategy. Sorry, I'm abusing the dummy. So, those are basic strategies that I can think of off the top of my head. And, you're about to see it really go down as I have my friend here just to show you guys what you do in a 1v1. So, let's respawn and get this show on the road. So, as you see, just loading up. Alright. So, it's about to begin. He's about to come in, and you're about to see what it's like in a 1v1 scenario as Sans. Now, you need to be extra careful because you can't get too cocky with moves. Okay. Okay, so, watch how I do this. First of all, always evade first. That is priority. So as you see, I'm just doing this. My favorite combo for sure. Get him into that pattern. Evade. You're allowed to take those hits. So as you see, I just took quick care of that Azrael. No problem. Okay, so, notice how I kept evading there, and I wasn't doing extreme spammy combos, but it got the job done. Now, one key thing to mention, always avoid melee combat. Especially with the glitch tail Kara, you need to be on your toes. So, another huge contender is Story Shift Kara. So, yep. So here it is against Betty. So, here we go. So watch how I'm gonna execute this. He made the poor mistake of doing this. So as you see, boom. Evade that, come at him with that. And as you see, sure, he might not be the best, but you get the gist. You always want to avoid combat, but if you can, trick your opponents into getting into that first. Now that was a bad example, but do not mindlessly wander around with combat. As you see, keeping it small. Boom. Dodge. Now, I'm using one of the combos I just suggested here. As you see, he took some damage. So, as you see, I'm making sure to play my cards right, and I'm keeping on top of my game. I'm making sure that I'm not absolutely depleting all of my stamina, but still giving him rough attacks that will deal a lot of damage. And that's the idea behind Sans. You're trying to conserve as much stamina as you can with being able to execute great moves that will deal a lot of damage. And I'm executing, and if you do stuff like this, if you play trickery with them, it's going to be almost impossible to keep up. So, here's where you use that too. Especially in good combos, you're able to just fully execute that right kind of idea. As you see, they're getting slammed everywhere. and that's gonna sting. So, that's a pretty good strategy for emergencies. Okay, so, as you see, I'm low stamina, and I'm still going at it. So, here's what you do for low stamina situations. You want to be on top of your game, making sure you're not doing any dumb stuff, and always stay on top. And no matter how complicated it gets, you need to be the first one to be able to get there and just genuinely get to them. Because guess what? This is how it is, and you need to be a step ahead. And as you see, I barely won that 1v1 because I kept that combo up that usually you just run away or whatever and keep worrying, but when you keep fighting even at low stamina, it really helps you just be able to kind of just, just straight up deal more damage. And yeah, Betties are really annoying, but as you see, it isn't absolutely impossible. Next up, we have the good old Starship Kara. Now, luckily they don't regen HP like a freaking monster like Betty does, so we're actually pretty fine. So as you see, I made a bad decision there and decided to wait. You do not make that same mistake. But you always go with pressure combos as if they could be hit, because because you're gonna drain a fair bit of stamina. And the moment they stop dodging, that's prime time to strike. So you gotta be able to evade that stuff, because if you flat out stand there and take it, you're gonna get destroyed. And of course, Sands won't let you do that, but if you do auto dodging, and as you see, because I made that mistake, I'm low stamina. And luckily, we were able to take them out, but imagine a scenario where they weren't still learning. I don't know why he agreed to this, but yeah, SS Kara is a deadly character.